Bernadette again, and we're here on Crush This Debt. And today we're going to talk about a topic that I could use a lot of advice on. It's healthy eating, and specifically for kids. And so today we have our good friend Alessandra.
Hi.
And she's going to give us some tips from her book and tell us more about how you can save money and make sure that you're still eating right for you and your family. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And so first of all, tell us a little bit more about the book. Let's show them the
Sure.
book cover because it's awesome.
Thank you.
And it's called What a Good Eater. So tell me how you got to write this book.
Yeah. So I've always been interested in nutrition, but it wasn't until I got pregnant where I was like, oh my God, now I have to eat for not just myself, but this human that I'm raising here. So I knew that I wanted to feed her good food, right from the start. I had done a lot of research, and I knew that it was important really to kind of like expose them to good flavors and things like right at an early age. And I'm Italian, and we've always had like a lot of food, and but more importantly like a lot of like nutritious food. I'm sure there was pasta and things like that, but it was also a lot of like homemade, fresh ingredients and things. Yeah. So I knew that I wanted to do that, but I also know that I live in 2018 and life is crazy. So I wanted to make sure that I did it in a way where I didn't go crazy. Lose my own sanity. So that's kind of how the book came about. And it just takes you step by step from, I broke it out into like from a baby's first bite. So it goes from like, what should you feed your child at 6 months, 8 months, whatever, but it's food that the whole family can eat. So another selfish reason why I did this is because I wanted to make some changes to my own diet as well. And I knew I couldn't feed my child healthy and then be like eating ho-hos in the closet. Although like sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
But,
actually, before she got here, I hid my moon pies from the screenshot. I was like, we should probably hide those for now.
Right. Yeah. The little, ho-hos creeping out. But I wanted to kind of let my child also change my life in a healthy way. So that's what I did. I just kind of made it edible for all of us, really.
That's awesome. And, one thing that I hear people often say about why they don't eat healthy is because it can get expensive.
Right.
So can you tell me a little bit about, like, how are you able to feed your family and still stay within, like, a budget?
Yes. So it can be done. That's the most promising thing that I can say is that it absolutely can be done. The first thing is really to kind of plan ahead. So I suck at planning. I'm just going to say it. I'm horrible. I'm always a procrastinator.
I am too.
Yeah, but if I could just pick one or two things in my life that I try to plan, meal planning is one of them, because when you have, it's not just you, but again you have a family, you can save a lot of money just by planning out what you're going to eat. Because then you're not like hangry on the fly, driving through either the drive-throughs or making spending too much money on food just because you're hungry and everyone needs to eat and there's a restaurant.
Right.
Yeah. So sure there are nights like that, but if you can meal plan a little bit, it really will save you a lot of money up front.
Yeah. And wasting food too.
Yes.
Like you're not going to waste it if you know that you're using it for all these different recipes.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's my next point, actually.
Oh!
Is so that meal planning helps you kind of do things like A, buy in bulk, and B, use your freezer. And I think that's a common misconception. A lot of people think like, well, healthy eating means, oh my God, budget breaking. I don't have that kind of money. I'm more stressed. Give me more food, But it's actually not. You can plan ahead. If you go to Costco, I find, for instance, Costco has some great options for even like organic meats and stuff. You buy organic vegetables in bulk, and then you can cook things and then freeze them. So now you portion them out. So you can have like fast food on the fly. Another great thing I like to tell people is to, again, don't be afraid of your freezer, because especially with kids, sometimes they go through phases where they will love something for like, a week, and then all of a sudden they absolutely hate it, and they can't even believe you show them this disgusting thing.
Adults also do this.
And adults also do this.
That literally sounds like me. I was super into like anything like chicken, pot pie, whatever, and then all of a sudden I was say, I just don't want it anymore. And so my current thing is like bacon wrap dates. Yeah. But to your point, right, is that you can save those portions. You can still make a big batch.
Right.
And then save it for later. And you're right. I think a lot of people think about, when they think about healthy eating, you see all these pictures of like food that's like literally just picked from the farm right now.
Right.
And it can still be healthy if you're saving it smartly, right?
Yes, absolutely. I get my kids involved as much as possible. I am not afraid of child labor. Like I bought my daughter a toddler knife, and she gets right up there, and I can just put out some peppers or whatever, cucumbers, and say, can you chop these? And the nice thing,
so cute.
And the nice thing about it is that they're more likely to eat it when they're touching it.
Oh.
Because my daughter, for instance, she swore off peppers. She was like, I hate peppers. I don't want to see them anymore. No more peppers. And I had bought a bunch of peppers, and I asked her to help me chop them. And, if like half a pepper in, she was like, do you mind if I eat this? And I was like, I mean, I guess if you want to, but they're more likely to get involved, and that's the truth. If they're touching it, helping you buy it, maybe take them to the grocery store, tell them that they can pick whatever vegetable they want and get their buy-in a little bit.
That makes so much sense, because I have a 4-year-old nephew, and he cooks with his mom all the time, and she's vegan.
Okay.
But I think it makes sense when the kid actually sees it from kind of what it looked like to begin with, and then the whole process, versus like just taking this thing and like putting it in front of them, and they have like no idea where it really came from.
Right. It smells weird. It's not familiar. They don't know what's in it.
Yeah. So what's something healthy that you can get your kids started off with that's easy to make?
Like a baby?
Yeah.
Okay. So sweet potato is a great one. Yeah. If you roast them in the oven, it brings out their sweetness even more. And we still do this where we'll have a sweet potato bar for dinner at night.
A what?
Sweet potato bar. So you just if you've never roasted a sweet potato, it is so easy. You just take the sweet potato, poke a few holes in it, and you put it whole in the oven, just on the grate. You don't even need a sheet pan. Put it on the grate for like 50 minutes to 55 minutes, just till it's soft. And then you take it out, you let it cool, and then you put out some toppings for your kids. So, like, I will put out pumpkin seeds because they're high in magnesium and they're really good and they like the taste. I put out pine nuts, and those are really nutritious for them. If you want, put a little cheese or some sour cream or whatever, and you just literally put it on the table and let them go to town. Now they're involved. They're sprinkling, they're doing, and you're kind of just like, all right, I roasted a potato, and there's dinner.
And sweet potatoes are not expensive.
They're not expensive. But for a baby, same thing. You just roast the sweet potato, throw it in the blender, or just mash it up with your fork even. You don't even really have to blend it. And just get them started with it. And it's creamy, it's nutritious, it's sweet, and they enjoy it.
What about on the opposite side of the spectrum? What is something that maybe a lot of people don't have in their pantries or don't usually buy that maybe might be a little bit more expensive, but you think might be worth it?
If you're a meat eater, 100% grass-fed beef.
Oh.
Because, a lot of people think, oh my God, it's going to break the bank. But we don't eat a lot of meat. So when we do, I find that it helps to get the good quality meat.
Yes.
And you can also freeze it. Like, for instance, tonight I'm making, it's a recipe from the book. It's mini basil meatloaves. And you make them in a muffin pan. And you just add, the meat, some fresh herbs, you add a little bit of egg and a couple other ingredients, and you bake them in a muffin pan, serve it for dinner, and then whatever you don't eat, just pop them in the freezer.
I am going to do this tonight. Like, literally. I love anything in a muffin pan.
Yeah.
I love anything with beef. My husband doesn't eat as much beef, but that's a good point, because when he thinks about us eating beef, he'll think, oh, we're going to have to get this giant steak. But no, we can just have little pieces of meat interspersed into our meal, and it's not going to break the bank, because you're not, you can probably split one thing between.
Totally.
Yeah.
A pound, just over a pound will make an entire muffin. So what is that, 12 muffins?
Yeah.
They're a good size, so my kids probably won't even eat a whole one at the age that they're at now. They're getting back to the picky stage. So I think that's the other thing too, especially for parents, is if you're working with kids, they get picky, and that's okay. They'll take in as much as they want to eat. We always say the number one thing to do is just buy healthy food, give them steady meals, and let them decide how much of that they're going to eat.
No, I think that's great. And I think the points that I like that you brought up, right, is making sure that, it's stuff that your whole family can eat, because I think when kids also see you eating it and see you enjoying it, they're also going to be more likely to like it as well. And I learned this again from my vegan sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law is not vegan at all. And we noticed, when she's like, this is great, he'll want to try it.
Yes.
But sometimes we'll see my brother-in-law's face when there's something vegan. He's very not vegan. And we'll be like, can you just not look? Right. Or do that when he's not here.
Yeah, because they take cues. They model your behavior.
Yeah. So if someone wants to find out more about you and your book, how can they find you?
Sure. Well, you can head over to the website. It's whatagoodeater.com. We have a podcast there as well, so some episodes you could listen to. We talk about like how to help your kids get off sweets.
Does this also work for adults?
It does. No, it does. I'm telling you, this is why we wrote this book. Myself and my co-author Amy, like we wrote the book that we needed as families. So there's a lot of great info there, and you can also go to my personal website, which is AlessandraMacaluso.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And I learned so much, even if you're not looking for your kids. I bet a lot of these tips are going to work for you yourself. I'm going to look these up tonight. And if you want to learn more about Alessandra, you can check out our website at crushthesnet.com, and we'll have more information in the links below. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.